Good day everyone, I am Crisanto Said and I'm here to discuss with you about the forensic computerized facial composite. I suggest that this topic can be an aid to develop more our students in the Bachelor of Science in Criminology, most especially in criminalistics and in criminal investigation. The lesson goal of this topic, the students will gain an understanding of the importance of facial composite and forensic computerized facial composite in criminal investigation, identifying missing persons, and acquire additional knowledge and skills in facial composite preparation. Our lesson objective, the students should be able to define the different terms used in this topic, discuss the history of composite criminal illustration, relate the importance of forensic facial composite in criminal investigation, explain how to prepare a forensic facial composite or computer facial composite, and explain the procedure in availing services of facial composite artists in the Philippine National Police Crime Laboratory. Introduction. Facial composite images are often used in criminal investigation process to facilitate the search and identification of someone who has committed a crime. This facial composite is used to identify the perpetrator of a crime, and it serves as an evidence to prove the guilt of the perpetrator. So Alphonse Bertillon was a French police officer and biometrics researcher who created anthropometry, an identification system based on physical measurements, wherein the facial composite was based on the study of Alphonse Bertillon, wherein in the facial composite we are dealing with the physical physique and the body measurements as to provide the identity of the perpetrator. So in the history of facial composite in the Philippine National Police, in the year 2008, Australian Federal Police donated facial composite system to the PNP Crime Laboratory. In the year 2011, the chief PNP approved the standard terminology facial composite, computerized facial composite, wherein a total of 24 facial composite system in the Philippine National Police was distributed nationwide. And on May 20, 2011, the chief PNP approved the term facial composite to be adopted PNP-wide in lieu of cartographic sketch. Computerized facial composite, or the CFC, be used when the image is made by computer in lieu of the computerized composite criminal illustration, or the CCCI. In the year 2011, the chief PNP then was General Bacalso, who approved the term facial composite to be adopted in lieu of cartographic sketch. The unofficial term currently and commonly being used by our police officers to refer the image is the cartographic sketch. However, based on the extensive consultation, this term is not appropriate for what it intends to portray, because cartography is defined in Wikipedia, which means the study and practice of making maps. Therefore, the Philippine National Police is using the term computerized criminal composite illustration, or the CCCI, to refer a computer-generated image based on the actual description of a witness. This is a sample of computerized facial composition of the Philippine National Police crime lab. No? This form was computer generated. So here are the facial composite system, no? The tools needed in the operation of computerized facial composition. We have the laptop, we have the photo printer, the optical mouse, the digital single lens reflex camera, the drawing pen and the drawing tablet. We have the photo enhancement software, the external memory, the carrying hard case with foam, and the external camera flash. Since we are already in the modernized era, we need to upgrade the tools that we are using to develop a more clearer images in identifying perpetrators through the actual description of the witnesses, and with the aid of these modern tools nowadays. So its importance, the suspect or the missing person can easily be identified with the aid of facial composite. The system has a compilation of different facial features of Filipino, Thailand, and Caucasian. Accessories like beard, mustache, facial marks, deformities, eyeglasses, headgear, and jewelry are available in the computerized facial composite gallery. What is importance when we witness a crime? Do not hesitate to look into their faces and have a, what do we call as a photographic shot, using our eyes to remember all the features that possessed by the perpetrator. And by the time that we were identified as a witness, as a potential witness, we will be invited into the police station and subjected for computerized facial composition if the perpetrator is not identified. And you, as a witness, will provide the identity of the said perpetrator through the computerized facial composite. So, what are the purposes of facial composite? We have three. First, case build-up, identifying the suspect, and to successfully gather, interpret, and illustrate the information obtained from the victim's memory. This is to compile evidences that supports to make a legal or disciplinary cases against someone. And through the facial composite, we can now identify the perpetrator of the crime through the victims or through the witness memory or testimonies. So here are the procedures in availing the facial composite. First, we need to submit a letter request addressed to the PNP Crime Laboratory, Chief Photography Division, or equivalent section into our different police regional offices. Second, witnesses or victims must be accompanied by the investigator on case during the facial composite illustration. The IOC, or the investigator on case, is always be there to guide the witnesses or the victim during the activities of facial composite illustration. And third, result of facial composite will be released to the investigator on case upon completion of the composite image free of charge. And nothing to worry, because there are no charges or fees to be paid in the conduct of the computerized facial composite. Composite session. A session involves drawing and interviewing. Though drawing is vital to the session, The real challenge lies in the ability of the interviewer to the victims or the suspects. The structure and continuity of the session are extremely crucial. The artist must develop a technique that involves a victim or a witness in the creation of the suspect sketch. That the police officer has already prepared questions to be used in the interview to get a real identity of the perpetrator, and likewise to use the good techniques in the creation of the suspect's sketch. So here is the process. The police officer focus on the drawing tablet, and the witness looking at the monitor, verifying the different parts of the faces are really the eyes or the nose or whatsoever of the perpetrator he witnessed during the commission of the crime. Composite of image. A composite image may be produced either through a freehand drawing of an artist or through assembling an image with the use of computer software made for that purpose. Before the what we call as the cartographic sketch, it was been made through freehand drawing. But now we are already using the computerized facial composite, then therefore we are assembling an image with the use of computer software. Here is the sample. During the session, the facial composite officer will show a form to the witness and properly identify the perpetrator. There is a blank face shown in the monitor, and the witness may choose from the gallery provided by the officers that suits to the identity of the perpetrator. He will be choosing from the eyes, from the nose, mouths and lips, ears and chin. Up to the time that the face described by the witness has revealed through the facial composite. Then the officer may ask the witness that the image derived from his testimony is the same to the person perpetrates the crime whom he witnessed. Tatanungin nung sketch officer, is this really the person that you have witnessed who committed the crime? Then also the officer may ask whether the perpetrator is wearing a bull cap or whatever headshirt he wears, if any, during the commission of the crime. And likewise, the officer may ask if the perpetrator wears any accessories that easily identifies by the witness to be added in the facial composite to easily identify the perpetrator. Or any markings like scars or deformities into the face of the perpetrator observed by the witness. Or the perpetrator has a beard or mustache as observed by the witness. And after the finality of the face revealed by the witness through the computerized facial composite, Next would be the description of the body of the perpetrator from his height, no, from his estimated weight, the skin color, if the perpetrator is not wearing any jacket, no, and the build, no, of the perpetrator to easily identify and arrest the said perpetrator. So composite as evidence, it is important to keep in mind that the composite is a piece of evidence. No? Once the witness has agreed that the image is complete, no additional changes should be made. In order to preserve the integrity of the composite sketch, the following steps are strongly recommended. First, the artist and the witness should sign or initial the composite when completed. The date and time of the witness signing should be included and will indicate the point after which a sketch was preserved as an item of evidence. Yes, no? During the finality of the computerized final sketch, do not forget to affix, no, the signature of the artist, no, or the composite officer, and affix the signature of the witness, and likewise the date and time, no, to prove such piece of evidence. Second, the artist should add the following statement somewhere on the drawing or somewhere on the form, no, saying to alter, to add, to tint or to color, or change any detail within the portion or within this pictorial statement would amount to tampering with evidence. No? There must be a notice, no, included or to be proved by the composite officer in the form that altering or adding something in the drawing is a violation to the law. And third, the use of computer software for the creation of composite image allows for the verification of the authenticity of the composite image through the examination of metadata attached in the image. The witness ability to recall. Investigators and composite artists alike should understand that the confidence level of an eyewitness is sometimes low, no, when he is asked questions regarding his ability to assist in producing a composite image. Therefore, investigators and composite officers must always be friendly to the eyewitnesses. Why? This is to gain their confidence in cooperating the procedures of facial composite or facial composition of the perpetrator, no? For us to get, no, a best result into the identity of the said perpetrator. So an investigator may consider a witness to be a candidate for a composite sketch if that witness account of what he saw includes a visual encounter with the suspect or other unique feature of them. Yeah. The availability of a witness, it is the advantage of the investigating officer to arrange for a composite image as soon as possible following an incident. Although may be necessary to delay, no, there are necessary delay, completion of an image when stress or trauma on the part of the victim warrants it. No? A necessary delay should be avoided. This is because the longer we wait for the witness or for the victims for facial composition, the tendency might he will forget some important things, no, in the incident he witnessed. It must be as soon as possible, no, after the incident, a composite or facial composite must be made, because the informations, no, the identity in the mind of the witness or the victim is still fresh. No? The longer the day we wait, there is a tendency that the witness or the victim might forget some important features of the perpetrator. So, witness contamination, investigators who are considering the use of composite sketch in their investigations should avoid showing photographs to witness or using any other facial identification procedure until the composite sketch have been completed. Just let the witness choose from the gallery provided by the composite officer in the different parts of the faces up to the time it reveals the full face of the perpetrator. Because when we show pictures, no, of other criminals, he might be assuming that the person shown is the one who commits the crime. Yeah. So therefore, freehand drawing, or the what so we call the cartographic sketch, is much better, no? Is much better the computerized facial composition nowadays, because it reveals, no, a real picture of the perpetrator who commits a crime, no? And it provides, no, a real images so that we can easily identify, arrest, no, the perpetrators who commit a crime. And that ends my presentation. I hope that you learned something, and thank you for watching. Good day.